Most NFT projects are broken. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you exactly why and how you can fix it to build a long-term, sustainable, and profitable business using NFTs. My name is Leon Aboud, and for most of Web3 history, the majority of the secrets and tricks to successfully launching an NFT project were held within the hands of a small group of people who would control the space from behind the scenes. And this often led these people to launch projects who would end up benefiting their own pockets than the Web3 space as a whole. Which is why I make these videos to help you build in Web3. What you see here is a culmination of over a decade of marketing experience that I have and years in Web3 having helped build and launch some of the largest brands in the Web3 space. There is no paywall gated secrets where it's like, hey, here's value, but if you want the real sauce, pay and you'll get access to it. There is none of that. What you see here is all I have to the extent of my experience building and launching products in Web3. So my goal is that you take this information and build the business of your dream in an ethical, sustainable, and profitable way with the hope that you can one day partner with us at Unfungible to help take you to the next level. Now, for us to understand why I say that most NFT businesses are broken, let's take the example of a pen. Imagine if I were to create 1,000 editions of this pen and I were to sell it to you and tell you that were you to buy this pen, you would get lifetime utility to what this has to offer. If the ink were to run out, you would get a refill. If this were to break, we would fix it for you, no questions asked. Although for you, this probably sounds like a great offer, from a business perspective, what would happen after a year, 2 years, half a decade of you using this pen, us refilling it, us fixing it for you? This would become an unprofitable business. And as a business, we would be forced to do one of two things. Either lower the quality of our delivery to you by either using cheaper ink or taking longer to fix the pen. Or number two, we would have to go out there and create a new edition of that pen, perhaps 10,000 pens, to offset the cost of the utility that we were offering you. And in the case of a pen, everyone would understand how this is an inefficient business model that is bound to break eventually. But you'd be surprised to learn that most NFT projects operate with that exact business model. You promise a one-time purchase that gives your customers a lifetime access to utility. And then we all sit here and wonder, why are projects printing out new NFTs with secondary and third collections? Why are they diluting the NFT space? Why is the quality of communication from some of these founders going down? Or even why are some founders just straight up leaving the space and closing shop? Because most NFT businesses are built on wrong foundations. Most NFT businesses are broken. So I'm going to be showing you how do we unbreak your business and how do we make NFTs fit within your business model in a way that makes sense and in a way that actually helps you scale your business without increasing the cost of you fulfilling the utility. Before I start filling this out for us, whatever utility you have needs to have one or two things. Number one, it needs to be a subscription model. People need to subscribe every month, paying you for access to the utility. Or number two, it needs to be a consumable, something you buy once that eventually expires, and you'll either need to buy a new one or you'll need to go out there and find a replacement for your product. I personally myself have grown fond of the subscription model. During my Web2 marketing days, I used to sell productivity notebooks, then went into direct response e-commerce, where the goal was always to find my next customer. And although it worked, the problem with that is that you're always seeking to convert your next customer. So it was a game of always trying to catch up. Even with Unfungible in the early days of the brand, we used to sell a one-off product that gave you access to a certain program. But recently, late last year, we actually pivoted our entire model to a subscription model. And I wish I could share numbers with you, but in the last 3 months, we have virtually doubled our team size and are growing at a pace that is, in my eyes, incredible, and I would have never thought we would be where we are today. So for you, if you're currently working on your utility, consider working on something that is in the lines of a subscription model. But then this begs the question, NFTs do not expire. They are forever on the blockchain. And you can't really associate a subscription to an NFT project. I've never seen people renting out their NFT. So this begs the question, where do NFTs fit within our existing business model? And the answer to that is what Naval Ravikant calls products with no marginal costs of replication. So products with no marginal costs of replication, something you build once that does not cost you anything more to fulfill down the line. So hang with me, let's look at the client acquisition and the client ascension funnel as an example's sake, and you're gonna understand exactly how we can use NFTs to sell products with no marginal cost of replication. So this right here, what you see in the very top, is the client acquisition funnel. These are all the things that we do on a marketing perspective to get our prospects to hear about us, see us for the very first time, develop curiosity, and then convert into buying one of our products. This is what most of the time we talk about in the different videos on this channel. However, there is a different funnel that happens after the first acquisition, which is the client ascension funnel. How do we take someone who paid us perhaps $30, turn that person into someone that is going to pay us hundreds, thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars during the life cycle of that customer? And one of the biggest mistakes I did during my early days of marketing is I was only stuck at the very top of the client ascension funnel. I only had one product right here. So my average lifetime value per client was 20 bucks. And next customer, how do I sell another 20 bucks and then another 20 bucks? But in reality, brands like Nike, brands like Starbucks, brands like Spotify, they really make their money by reselling people and by increasing the lifetime value of the customer. So let's take an example's sake, a brand like Unfungible, for example, what a client ascension funnel would potentially look like. These are all simulated numbers. We do not offer anything here. You cannot buy anything from us. There's nothing that I have to sell you. But imagine if I were to take all these videos that I create right here, how to launch your project in Web3 marketing, I were to package them and I were to put them behind $99 per month membership, where you get access to a community, where you get access to all the resources that you need to launch your project. Today, they are all for free and they will forever be. But let's take example's sake where this was all behind the paywall. The first product that I have is a $99 per month subscription. What I could then have right here in the middle of the funnel is for the people that want to go the extra mile, what we could potentially do is I could organize a workshop for $3,000 for a weekend where we deep dive into everyone's project. It becomes a lot more personalized. It's a one-time high value investment. And then at the very bottom, what I could have, this is like the back-end offer, we call it, would be, for example, 25K 6-month program, for example, where founders will work one-on-one directly with me on a weekly basis, where we will analyze your project, look at your performance, adapt as we go. Imagine this was a typical client ascension funnel for a brand like Unfungible. Where we would use NFTs within this funnel is where it gets interesting and where it gets creative. In your brand funnel, NFTs, it is the packaging that makes the product more appealing. NFTs are not the product. They are the packaging around which your product becomes more appealing and more interesting in the eyes of your consumers. And the NFT will virtually act as a magnet within your funnel to push people towards that specific level that you want to convert to. So let's look at an example of how an NFT would fit in any of these three using the idea of no marginal costs of replication. So imagine right here for the $100 per month, this course was open for everyone. But there were only 1,000 certificates that could be issued for people that went through the entire course and would become certified unfungible marketers, for example, certified unfungible builders. 1,000 people. These would be the first 1,000 people that would go through the program and successfully complete it, would get an NFT, for example, that would signal an NFT that would signal their completion of the program. All of a sudden, you as a consumer going through the course and knowing that there is something, a certificate in the back that could be a PFP, a Twitter profile picture collection that you can then use to signal your status or to signal that you belong to this certain community. This would be a potential use case of NFTs to make this offer right here seem a lot more attractive. It does not cost me anything to emit the NFTs. The community is already running. The cost of running that community on Discord, the softwares, the course is already built. There is no cost for me to issue new NFTs. They're issued once and the program is going to keep running, but it's going to look more attractive to the eyes of the consumers. Now imagine I wanted to optimize for this webinar that I had right here, the 1 weekend, $3,000 deep dive course. Imagine if this course was filmed, for instance, and the only way for you to access the replay of this live seminar was through a token gated NFT. This is my beautiful NFT right here. All of a sudden, all the people that would attend this webinar would receive the NFT as a token of their investment. But then they know that they have the ability to resell that to the people that could potentially in the future be interested in rewatching the content from that course. The course has already been filmed. There is no additional cost of fulfilling these NFTs. It's already out there. So all of a sudden, this people knowing that they will have access to something that other people may in the future want to replay and potentially buy, all of a sudden makes this $3,000 a lot more interesting. It's like, okay, I'll get this and maybe I can even resell my access to the course. And then final example, the $25,000 backend program. This is an interesting one that if you want to really stretch this. Imagine if I know that I have 10 people, 10 established founders that are willing to pay $25,000. Imagine if the backend program came with a VIP NFT. You could call these people the unfungible inner circle. All of a sudden, you know that you have 10 people that have incredibly high purchasing power, incredibly well-connected individuals. What you could do through the NFT, for example, is once this 25K has been delivered, everyone's happy with the product. What you can then do is maintain a strong community sense, a strong community spirit through the NFT. And then you would use these people to generate even more revenue. One example of this was, imagine if these 10 people, I know they all have a lot of money, very well respected, very well established in the space. All of a sudden, I were to create an investment fund for some of the projects that were to come to Unfungible. They are looking for help. Hey, we also offer investment opportunities through this network of 10 people that are part of that. And how do you access this? It's through the NFT. So all of a sudden, I've used the NFT to increase the lifetime value per customer that comes into my network. So you see how all of a sudden right here, we've used NFT in a business model that is already profitable and that does not need NFTs, but the goal is to make this funnel more smooth, more easy to travel through, and more attractive for prospects to go through using the power of NFTs. And I know this is an example for a business model like Unfungible. Imagine if you were, for example, a music artist and you wanted to use NFTs. Imagine it costed you $10,000, so 10K, to produce each song that you were to produce. You have an album of 11 songs. What if you publish 10 songs on Spotify and you left one song to be token gated behind an NFT token, and only 1,000 people could access that song? If we are to do the math, that means one song costs us 10,000. If we only limit it to 1K people, it means our cost of fulfillment per person that we want to give access to this NFT is $10. So the idea becomes, how do we squeeze $10 worth of value from these people to give them access to a product that is already finished, that has already been paid for, that $10,000 song. There's no need to pay anything else after this product has already been created. One example of this, how do I get $10 worth of value from my top fans, from my top listeners? One example is if you like, you retweet, you share, you comment, you rate my song, and you share it with 10 different friends, all of a sudden I could perceive that this is worth more than $10 for me. And I would only award that to the people that complete these certain quests, that complete these certain activities to help propel my brand, only by offering them. And in exchange, I'm gonna give you guys something that you deem valuable, access to an exclusive song that no one else can listen to but you, my super fans. So you see, for your brand, you might not have these two right here, but you may have one product, just one product. How do you attach an NFT in a way where you have no marginal cost of fulfilling that product and of fulfilling your utility to your community, and it becomes a one-time purchase that people make that only makes your original product, your original offer more attractive. Whether you run an online store where the NFT just unlocks extra discounts. Again, no cost of fulfilling that. If anything, you are extending the lifetime value. Whether you're a music artist, whether you're a brand like Unfungible, how can you use NFTs in a way to make your ascension funnel a lot smoother and more interesting for your prospects to travel through? And the difficult thing about launching in Web3 is that there is no blueprint. There is no one else that has already done that using NFTs. So you will be the very first person to test that. You will be the crusader that is going to find the path to that specific business model. And that's the beauty of the industry we live in. That is the beauty of Web3. We are writing the blueprint as we build. So for you, how can you use NFTs in a sustainable way that does not have any marginal costs of replication? My name is Leon Aboud, ladies and gentlemen. It was an absolute pleasure sharing this moment with you, and I cannot wait to see you in the very next video. Ciao.